Hi, welcome to SugarPea Designs. I'm Kara, and today we're going to assemble the Piece of Cake 3D box. I started by cutting out two of the main die pieces, and that's the main part of the box. And I'm creasing the folds at the score lines, and I'm going to do that for both of these boxes to start out to show you how they come together. All right, the first one is all folded, and you can see it makes half of the box. And I will fold the other one just the same way on all the score lines. And again, it makes half a box. But if you flip it over, it forms an entire box plus a couple of extra flaps. So we are going to take off some of those flaps on one of the pieces. So we only need one flap at the front of the box, the point, and one at the back. So I'm just going to take scissors and clip that off. You could trim it with a trimmer. It's just right on the line there. So what's nice about this is you can put the two pieces together and they form an entire box. You don't need any other parts. Just adhere those together, and it has its own flap in the back to open up. So right now my cake looks more like a cheese wedge, but I want to make this one into a cake box that has a top to it. So I'm going to clip off the top part of this piece, the piece that we have cut off the other flaps. And so I'm just left with a side and a flap. And I also want to cut off this flap on the top part of the back, and it's all ready for a top. So I'm putting strong double-sided tape on all of the little flaps, so the one in the front and the sides, and the side ones in the back. I'm only putting double-sided tape on the front of each flap. So as you run it through your die cut machine, the top part, the part that is what we would call the right side up, is the part that would have the double-sided tape on it. And now I'm just lining things up and putting down my tape. So one trick I have for this is I fold that flap down and place the side where I want, and then I move the flap that has the tape towards it. And that way it doesn't get adhered before I want it to be in the right place. So I kind of fold them in and then put it in place and then move them towards the sides. And now we have the bottom of the box all set to go. So we can start on the top, the box top. And there's several different options for this. There is a triangle that you can cut out of the top, and so there could be a hole in there, or you could put some acetate on there so that you can see through it. And also there are different dies that go with the set so that you can decorate the sides or wherever you want on here. And so I just put those stars on the side so you could see that. We'll see more of the stars later. So I put the double-sided tape on the tabs on the front of the die cut and adhered them together, and there's the top, the lid. And I cut those a little close to the back flap, so I'm just going to cut a little bit of the back flap off, and it's fine. And now you can see those stars kind of shine right through. But on this cake, I'm going to make a lid that's totally closed. And so again, I'll just fold all of those lines at the score lines and put on some double-sided tape on the little tabs and take off that released paper and fold them all together. So there's the front. And on this top, or this frosting, I will show you some of the different ways you could decorate your cake, and just some, because there are a million ways you could decorate your cake. But that forms the basic box with the lid on it. There are 2 dies in the set that cut out different size strips, and so you could have frosting in the middle of the cake, so it's a 2-layer cake, or some filling, and you could put them together, you can have them separate. You could torte your cake, so you have 4 layers there, frosting, and whatever you want to do. I am going to put on the whole frosting, filling, and frosting layer for the middle of my cake. And so right now it's a 2-layer cake, and I'm gonna say that's raspberry because that's what I would like, and that's what it would look like. And now I'll torte my cake, so I'm gonna put the whole shebang in there. I'm gonna put 2 more of these strips, so I have a white thicker strip and a pink thinner strip together, and I will do that one more time, and that would be 4 layers of the cake, mainly because I like a lot of frosting. This is a yellow cake. So I have a friend who's British, and she said, you know, I know of chocolate cake, I know of angel cake and different flavors, but what flavor is yellow? I'm thinking, gosh, I don't know. That's just what we call it. And there, we have white cake and we have yellow cake. We don't call it vanilla here. So anyway, I thought that was funny. So I put those on both sides, and now I'm ready for the top. And there are many different options here. So there's that little scallop circle piece of frosting, and this is a stand. So I die cut 2 of them and folded it, glued them together, and you can see it's a stand, and you could put stars. You can make this a star cake. So it comes with this larger star and a smaller star and all those little stars as well. So you could do that, or it comes with a heart, and you could put a heart on each side, and it also has 2 other sizes of hearts to put on the cake or to die cut into the layers of cake. And it also comes with a strawberry. So that to me just opens up a whole new area of possibilities. So I'm going to just kind of play with that strawberry to make it a little more dimensional. And you could make strawberry pie. So many options here. But we're going to go back to that piece of frosting and this candle. And the candle is made the same way as a stand. So you can fold the bottom base and glue the 2 candles together, and it makes its own stand. And so the candle stands straight up on the cake, and that's not going anywhere. It's very sturdy. And here are the flame pieces for the cake. So I'm just going to put the little flame inside the big flame. I mean, there's great details going on here with this cake box die set. So I've got those together, and then I'm making 2 of each. So I've die cut that twice so that I can put my flame on both sides of the candle. Since this is 3D, you would see it from many sides. And the great thing about this cake set is that if you make 10 of them, you have a full cake. So if you are making these boxes as party favors, you could have them in the middle of the table and everybody can take a piece of cake. Now here I've die cut 2 of the stripe pieces that I'm gluing on to the candle as well. So that brings out more options. So you can have different colored stripes in there, lots of things to do. So I'm just going to glue this onto the larger scallop, and it goes right in there. It can be perfectly matched, or you could off center it if you want to. And then I'm going to glue the base, the little scallop frosting, right on my cake. And you can decide which way you want the candle to be facing. And I'm just gonna get that a little more centered there. And then that part is all done. So one other decorative piece I haven't shown yet is this banner. It comes with this banner as well. So another great design option. All right, now we're going to make another box, but this time without the box top. So like I showed you in the beginning, this one is going to open up from the back. So again, I cut 2 pieces from the main die, and I'm folding along the score lines of the first piece. And then with the second piece, I am going to wait to fold those. I'm going to cut those first. So I'm cutting that front flap because we don't need that. And I'm cutting the back flap because we only need one of those. These 2 pieces together will form the entire box. We won't need a lid on this one. And that's what makes this cake box so versatile. You can have it open from the top or from the back. And now I'm folding the score at the score lines for the second one, and I will put it on top of the other piece just to show how it comes together. And now I will put double-sided tape on the flaps, but not on that back flap and not on the sides of the back flap so that those could open. I'm only putting tape on the long side flap of the small piece and the long side flap of the larger piece and the front flap on the larger piece. I'm not going to assemble this box yet because I want to do some ink blending on it. And I'm bringing out some full sticky back 3M sticky notes and just using it as a mask. And I'm going to bring out some distress ink and peeled paint and ink blend all around there. And I'm making a watermelon slice. So any kind of wedge you want to make, you can do with this box. And so I've got my peeled paint, and then I'm going to put on some mowed lawn as well. And with this watermelon, I want to try to get a texture on the back so that it looked like a watermelon on the outside, the rind, but it didn't really look like that. So I just blended it all around. I want it darker on the outside and a little lighter as you go into the piece of watermelon, the slice. I'm going to speed up the ink blending here, and I'm just taking off the masks, and I'm going to line up the other piece so that I know where I want that rind to end. And I'm lining it up on both sides so that I can kind of get a continuous line going all around the box. Come back in with that peeled paint, and then I'll come in with the mowed lawn again and just on the edges, trying to get that a little darker green. Match them up, make sure they kind of look the same. All right, so now I'll take off those masks, and I'm going to start with the watermelon part. So I'm putting my masks on over where I ink blended, and that will allow me to put on the pink without getting it into the green. This is worn lipstick, and I'm going to do both of those with the worn lipstick first so that I don't have anything darker on my blending brush. So I have the worn lipstick on the smaller piece. Kind of match them up, make sure I've got it the same. And I want it a little darker towards the point of the box. And now I'm coming in with Festive Berries and really darkening up where it would be the darkest on the watermelon slice. And you can make this as dark and juicy as you want, or mine, I don't know. I could have done a little bit more. I think it's a little bit anemic. But anyway, now I'm going to take off that release paper and assemble my box. I started by lining it up and putting the two pieces together. Take off the other two pieces of release paper and I'll meet that side up to them so that it's nicely lined up. And then I'll press it from the inside to make sure that the tabs are adhered. And there's our box. So this candle flame, the little piece, makes a great watermelon seed. So I cut a bunch of those out of black cardstock and I'm just going to arrange them where I think they look best on my watermelon. And I fussed with this a little bit, but there's so many ways you could do this. But decided to put them down a little, and then I'm going to put some glue on there and adhere them. I also arranged the seeds on the side and got a little seedy over there. And I'll put some glue on there too and adhere those. And I also did this to the other side as well. There they are. And so here are the two boxes together, one with a top lid and one with the back flap. I hope you enjoyed this video today on how to assemble the Piece of Cake 3D box. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye!